You're gonna be taking freedom out of your fat asses all night long because you got fat asses. The only chance you have no chance. If you had a chance, you can run lickety split. But you can't run because you're the fat asses. Well, Ric Flair, you know what? I'm not a normal-looking athlete myself. You know what I'm talking about? I've been in the gyms a lot. It's a privilege and an honor to walk out with Ole Anderson, Lex Luger, and the Army tomorrow night.
I am not a happy camper. What is Bully Ray's motivation? You know, I know he loves sugar. But I check my pocket. I don't have no donuts. I don't have no cheeseburger. I know you love sugar, but I ain't got none.
To be the man, you gotta beat the man. And I'm saying, woo, right here in Nashville, Tennessee, pal. I'm the man.
Look at a match for the total package like Luger and Super Brawl. Super Saturday? What is it? I don't know what it's called. What is it called?
Super Brawl Saturday.
Super Brawl Saturday?
You don't lose faith in winners. And Ric Flair, day in and day out, every day of his life, just keep winning and winning and winning.
Ric Flair! New York City, Ric Flair! You're gonna find out what hard is all about! I do exactly what I want to do. You say I'm insane. I say thank you very much.
Make a good intro.
I hate God!
Hit the deck! Yes! We love you, Scott Steiner!
Today, woo, I've got the star and profile like never before.
You guys talk about being students of the game. I am the game, JR.
Sounds a little bit 80s there to me. Sounds a little Rock You Like a Hurricane by Scorpion, if you ask me.
There you go. Yeah, I could hear that.
Yeah, let's see.
Here I am. Rock you like a hurricane.
All right, anyway, it's Wednesday night. What is going on, everybody?
Very nice.
I got a few things off my mind today, so I'm in a little bit of a better mood. I apologize to everybody for that. That might have blown out some ears. If that did, please forgive me. But I know you guys know we were looking for a house. We were getting turned down left and right. My credit sucks. It's because I don't have any credit really. I really don't. When you work for a debt settlement company for a couple of years and you take phone calls from people who are like crying on the phone, you tend to not want to get in debt. I don't know, just something I wanted to do. So I don't have credit cards, but we got one house. It approved us. I was telling Smark, it's right by a lake. I love to fish, so to me, it's like right where I need to be. Anyway, Smark, how are you, sir?
No, I'm doing well. You got some fishing ahead of you then?
Very nice, very nice. Got glad to have you back. Took a little break Friday, a little family time. Family first, always. I appreciate that.
Well, old HR gave me a little bit of a suspension, but we got it. I appealed, and here I am.
There you go. But we do have a really more to get into than I thought we would tonight. I saw Smart say Raw wasn't that bad. Can't wait to talk about that with you. At this point, watching Raw is like listening to Vince yell, "The beatings will continue until morale improves." I mean, it's like Stop, Vince. I get it. You hate us. Stop telling us.
Maybe it's just Stockholm syndrome at this point. I'm just used to the beatings.
The beatings will continue until morale improves in this son of a bitch. God damn it. I'm going to keep shitting on everybody until you guys buck up a little bit. But that's Raw. We'll get into that a little bit later. All right. I forgot to get the plugs pulled up, Smart. It's one of those days, man. I have only had one shot. The wife did go buy liquor. I know we said we were going to take a break, but she wanted to celebrate the fact that we got a house finally. So, we got a little liquor. No big deal. I've only done one shot. And I just opened a beer. Got the usual sitting here, but we can go ahead and knock out these little plug things. Let me go ahead and put a song in here that we can play. Here, I'll just go ahead and put this in there. I see it. I was first, so what the hell? Let's do that. And we can go ahead. And when we get Smart getting plugs tonight, too, you had me doing it Friday by myself. All right. Hi, Marks. You guys want to check them out. That is Cheeseman. That is Mojo. That is G Wiz or Seth Rollins. I'm not quite sure. Posted a picture today. I think it might have been Seth Rollins. I think he may be Seth Rollins. Really. But definitely, guys, check out the High Marks. Where are you going to check them out? You know where. Mixer.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right. There's 2 T's in Mitt. Do not forget the second T. You can check them out Sundays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Definitely want to be doing that. And, of course, Bobby Anthem, Bobby Blades, the Inhumans over there on the Inhuman Experience. Go ahead and subscribe to them on all the usual podcast platforms that you subscribe to. And, of course, the Everything Unscripted Wrestling podcast. Eric, Doug, Daniel, all them crazy people over there. You can find them where? Blog Talk Radio and all the usual podcast platforms. And Stephen Milan, appreciate you sharing the show, sir. Get him over there reviewing films. Letterboxd, that's boxd.com/Stephen Milan, 2 L's in Milan. Yes, there you go. You can get us on Spreaker. You can also get us on YouTube. You can get us on Anchor, TuneIn, Player FM, Stitcher, iHeart, everywhere. Go ahead, Smart.
Oh, right. As always, and I got props this time, which is great because it's an audio medium. Mondays, 8:30 p.m. rather. Mondays, 8:30 p.m. on the Metal Men Podcast Network on the Mixler machine. Be sure to check out Cheese on Sports with the Cheese Man, Cheese Master. And also, you want to be sure to check out Sundays, 10:30 a.m. the Modirk City Machine Guns, Mojo and Dirk. And last but never least, you want to check out our friends at Planet Raconteur. It's the Planet Raconteur podcast with Bobby Anthem, Papa Dave, Sincere, and Young Nasty. All 16 episodes are available for you. Be sure to subscribe for season 2.
Oh, there you go. All right. There we go. Plugs are knocked out. My mic needs to come down just a touch. Right about there. All right. Let's turn that music down. Let's hit pause on the music. And I guess from there, man, like I said, we got a decent amount to get into tonight, man. But wanted to start with a little bit of a feel-good story in a way. It does once again show that wrestling fans are complete babies.
They are. They could be real babies.
They're complete babies and scumbags when it comes to a lot of things. That was on cue. Way to go, little girl. But yeah, they can. They really can be. We talked a few weeks ago, Smark, about Caesar Bononi's wife, Camilla. Being diagnosed with leukemia. Her husband set up a GoFundMe. I mean, he's not a huge wrestling star right now. He's kind of starting out and, set up a GoFundMe. I don't think it's a big deal. Tony Khan right now is the main donor at 2 $5,000 donations, so $10,000 total. Other top donors are Cody Runnels. Guess who that is? Lance Hoyt, Colt Cabana, and there's others on there. You know what? Here, I got it right here. There's Jericho, $1,500, of course. Lance Hoyt, $300. Matthew Cardona, $250, and a bunch of other anonymous names. Britt Baker, $200. Everyone's chipping in what they can. But I think this is pretty cool. But, of course, you get those fans. This is a PR stunt by Tony Khan. What do you think? He's going to take the fucking money back? I'm just kidding. You know this is just a stunt, and I'm not really giving you $10,000, right? What the fuck kind of person would that be? I mean, he would be
right out of your check.
Yeah, that's coming out of your check, pal. That's coming out of the next pay-per-view. Double or nothing for you. I mean, it's just... People are scumbags, man. Can a guy do something nice and everyone just go, wow, really nice? That's it. That's it. That's all. I don't know if you saw, I mean, I sent you the same one I had. I don't know if you saw the some of the comments in there, in just there. I saw them everywhere. I saw a lot of people, though, just like, I can't, I mean, a lot of people were very happy. Oh, this is great. But, and then people are shitting on, the people are calling him Caesar Baloney and shitting on his wrestling ability. What does this post have to do with his wrestling ability?
Dear God, I am so glad that the people who tend to do this don't tend to have jobs in like actual serious positions. Just imagine somebody's doctor letting somebody fucking die because they didn't know how to do a moonsault.
All right, it's just, I mean, I know this might not even have been a good thing to bring up, but just the fact that wrestling fans can be such scummy people sometimes just really irks me. You know, you can bitch, you can moan about AEW, whatever. You don't like the product. That's fine. I don't give a shit. But when an owner of a company decides to do something like this, and so do people in the company, you got to respect it, man. You shouldn't be shitting on it. We are so... you really... I hate to say, but you show what a douchebag you really are when you make comments like that. I'm not talking to you, Smart, by the way.
No, I get it. I mean, just because you don't like the person or the person's not entertaining to you doesn't mean that you should wish ill on him or be angry when he receives aid or help of any kind. Like, I don't want Cody to get seriously injured.
No.
He were to seriously, just, you know, maybe stub his toe every so often, get jury duty, that kind of a thing. But other than that, I have no real ill wishes for anyone.
You know, fingernail fall off or something. That's fine. That's fine. And then, I mean, people are like, does he get a tax deduction for this? I mean, generous gesture. However, if he writes it off on his taxes, then it's less admirable. Well, donations are tax deductible no matter what. You can, God damn it, there's tax laws. And if you don't do it, do you know what happens if you don't claim this on your taxes? Holy fuck, they got Capone that way.
Yeah, you don't want old Mike Rotunda showing up at your door.
Again, they didn't get Capone for murder or racketeering or fucking selling booze during the Prohibition. They got him for fucking tax evasion.
There's like a YouTube clip. It's like 20 seconds long or whatever. It's from one of those Batman shows, like Batman cartoon, where the Joker's like, yeah, even I'm not crazy enough to take on the IRS.
That's probably a commercial.
Pretty much.
Shit. And then, I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that. Again, I think, in my opinion, good on Tony Khan and everyone else that donated. Again, it's all over the internet. You can find that GoFundMe right there. And if you'd like to donate, please go for it. All right, sure. Let's get away from that because I didn't know it was going to make me angry.
Yeah, you did start off with here's something positive.
I thought it was. I really did. I thought it was a positive story, and then I'm like, oh shit, this is the one with the scummy people that are commenting everywhere. I should have started with this one. On an honestly good note, Ethan Page, I might not be really a fan of his, but him and his wife are expecting another child. So,
very nice.
Pretty good. Very good. It's a boy, according to him. He actually put, it's a boy. Oh, yeah, I'm having another baby. I'm assuming he got backlash because he said, my mom just texted me real mad. We are having, not I'm having. Whoops, my bad. Yes, we are having a baby. Oh, everyone has to have their way on the internet. But congratulations.
Well,
to him.
presumably she's mad at him for admitting his wife, and
Right.
not admitting her, because that takes a real twist and turn there.
Exactly. And I mean, he already has a daughter, so going to be adding a little son to the Page clan. So congratulations. Good for him, man. Good for
Now,
him.
if he has multiple kids, does that become a book and not a page?
I think it does. Who knows? I mean, eventually. I mean, is this a tax write-off for the guy? Jesus Christ.
He's just doing this for the good PR.
Oh, he just wanted to get more taxes back at the end of the year, so he screwed his wife. Came in just to get better taxes. This was supposed to be a good story, goddammit.
That'd be an amazing H&R Block commercial. Like, did you know?
Oh, trust me, you would never do this just for a tax write-off. I promise you. After 3, I promise you. You're like, just take the fucking money, government. I don't care. Give me a piece.
Ain't no doubt about it. He's a family man.
Oh, stop it. You can hear my girl. See, my girl's crying out there right now. She heard you. But, all right. All right. Anyway. Another thing that we had already talked about, Smart, but let me go ahead and load that up while we're, man, my daughter has got some pipes on her, bro. She, but, you know, we talked, I think Wednesday we spoke about, the move to TBS for AEW and the new show that they have going. Eric Bischoff made a few comments and he kind of echoed what we were saying, Smart. Give me one sec here, and I'm going to pull it up. There's a spot where it starts. I think I got it right now. Instead of trying to explain what Bischoff said, why don't we just play it? It's only a couple of minutes long. Here we go.
I think the whole move is a giant bonus. I think it's a brilliant move. Let's look at it. And I don't know how much money's involved. Doesn't matter. Even if there was, well, I won't say that. Here's what happened. AEW is moving from TNT on Wednesday night at 8 p.m. over to TBS Wednesday night at 8 p.m. The audience is going to find them. There's not going to be any loss of audience. It's not going to change a thing. So there's no net loss. There's no net gain. I don't think there'll be a net gain. Could be wrong. But let's just say it's a neutral move. It's a lateral move. Didn't hurt, didn't help. It just is. But they got a show on Friday night following SmackDown. Guess what I'm doing if I'm Turner? Tony, are you listening? I'm buying local advertising inside of SmackDown in all of the markets around the country that I want to promote my shows in, live events or otherwise. And while people are watching SmackDown, I'm going to be telling them, hey, when SmackDown's over, guess what we're doing over here? And you're going to drag some of that audience with you. Come on. That's not a positive. That's a giant positive. That's a giant net gain. So they risked nothing. They got an extra hour of television, which is going to be additional revenue. How much, we don't know. Doesn't matter. It's going to work. And they're going to be able to draft off of SmackDown.
Ooh,
how does
hearing
that
you say it like that makes me excited for them.
How does that not? How does that suck? How is that bad? How is that even a topic of conversation in terms of a debate?
All right. Again, Mark, I think you kind of said some things we were saying the other day. You know, that this was a good move. I didn't think about the fact that during SmackDown they could just literally pump the shit out of their advertising. Great idea by Bischoff. That's so WCW of him, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is right out of the WCW playbook. So, I don't know, maybe Vince will be over there trying to spoil AEW shows.
Michael Cole telling people that'll put ass in seats. I gotta say, he has a very limited imagination because he started off with the phrase, you know what I would do if I was Ted Turner. I was like, well, I mean, personally, maybe hunt homeless people for sport or bathe in Jell-O. Oh, no, just buy advertising? All right, cool.
Well, he did stop himself. He's like, you know what? Let me not say that. This is what. Okay, this is what I think. Okay, he did stop himself, which was probably a good thing. You know what, dude? I like Bischoff. I actually think he's a good businessman, a smart businessman. I mean, he might not be in the wrestling business, but him and Jason Hervey, yes, the kid from the Wonder Years, they got a little thing going. They had a bunch of reality TV shows going on at one time. They do produce, I think they've produced a couple of movies. I think they do pretty well for themselves, dude, on that front, outside of wrestling.
Very nice.
Outside of wrestling. But, but I definitely, I think he's right there. Like you said, as far as, SmackDown being on, yeah, advertise the shit out of your shows, your live events, your pay-per-views. And you probably will bring some of those fans. And like I said, I don't think there is a downside to this anywhere. And he did say you're not going to get a loss of fans. Your fans are going to find you. I think they may get a loss the first week or two. But I think it'll pick right back up very quickly. So.
Yeah. I mean, there's always that initial, problem, but like we talked about before, they have a loyal fan base, and a lot of the people that watch that show are internet savvy, so they probably already know about the move, and they have plenty of time to promote it. So,
yeah, but you're still just gonna have to be. Oh, I forgot to reset my DVR, dude.
Oh yeah, that's definitely true.
You're gonna get a few people and shit like that, and oh man, I gotta go out and drink Friday. Then you're gonna get people who are like, fuck it, I'd rather stay home and drink on Friday and watch wrestling all night.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be me. I mean,
it does sound like a fun idea.
Oh, I mean, we got this show to do, so. And again, there was no AEW tonight, so one less thing. I watched Grudge Match instead.
I remember that one. I didn't watch it, but I remember the advertising for it.
Yeah, De Niro, Stallone. Yes, I know who. I know De Niro's a loony liberal. I don't care. He's fucking. I love that movie. There's so many.
That sounds like a less successful version of Hungry Hippos. These loony liberals.
It probably look it up. There probably is a game called Loony Liberals. I wouldn't doubt it. But oh god, he's actually doing it.
See, you just gobble up all the rich men's profits, fucking socialist.
Look, and if you get see. Bernie Sanders and AOC, it's double bonus. Okay.
I feel like I'm Hulk Hogan right now, and they're on commentary. It's like, whose side is he on?
It's a good little movie. There's a lot of little nuances from Raging Bull, a lot of little references to Rocky in there. At one point, he goes into they're walking through a meat locker, and the guy's like, "What are you doing? You don't have to hit the meat. You don't have to punch everything." And he's like, "I thought you wanted me to hit the meat." And he's like, "No, just here to get some dinner." All right. Good little
Speaking
movie.
of incomprehensible accents, I watched Predator yesterday.
No, you did not.
Yeah, I watched Predator. I was disappointed because I heavily overestimated how much Ventura was in that movie.
I gotta ask.
I thought I was going to get a lot of Ventura. I got very little Ventura.
I gotta ask. When did you watch it?
Yesterday afternoon, roughly before dinner. So say about 4:30, 4 o'clock.
Son of a bitch! I came home and turned on Predator yesterday at 4:30.
Well, there you go.
Seriously, I watched Predator.
Synchronicity to that. So we were watching Predator at the same time.
I was on Hulu watching a little Predator. And by the way, speaking of movies, if you're looking for Stone Cold Steve Austin movies, get that Peacock. Holy shit, they've got them all. They've got all the Stone Cold movies. Just start with The Contender, and trust me, it'll guide you from there. But yeah, I watched Predator yesterday too, man. Pretty good one. I watched Predator and Death Race.
Yeah, I've seen Death Race. Death Race is all right.
There's like 4 of them.
I saw the first one. Like 2008 or so.
It's the only one I've got. I mean, I have the rest of them, but it's the only one that I've watched is the first one. But there's more. Of course.
But wait, there's more.
Of course there are. So, but yeah, I watched some good movies. But like I said, as far as I'm concerned, though, Bischoff definitely, I think he's definitely got 100% nailing it here. I think AEW is going to do just fine. They're going to have a show on Friday. They're going to have a show on Wednesday. They've got their Tuesday night show on YouTube. They're branching. And I think at some point, if they keep doing this and expanding, man, they are going to be a pretty good competitor to the big boys, if you will.
Very nice. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, just they're expanding and expanding and expanding. Next thing you know, they're going to be doing movies.
Somebody get David Arquette on the horn.
Well, I mean, they're already doing a reality TV show. That's probably the first step. Next thing you know, Cody Rhodes is in Fast and Furious 900 and 92.
Well, I mean, that could be a potential segue, but they're going to need to replace Cena somehow, I suppose.
Well, that was a perfect segue, actually, because we are going to get into the John Cena thing right now. I told Smark I don't want to get too political on this. China being what they are, doing what they do, treating people the way they treat them, especially if you do not conform to the CCP's rules. I mean, they still have concentration camps over there. They call them Uyghurs, and they stick them in there. But anyway, Cena was doing an interview and called Taiwan a country. And it sparked outrage with Chinese fans. Now, you want to know what's funny, Smark?
Mm-hmm.
If you go to Google and you type, is Taiwan a country? It says Taiwan is a country within China. But China no like Taiwan at all.
Got a bit of a feud going. It's a real East Coast, West Coast situation.
A little bit of a feud, a little bit more. Listen, and so basically what happened is Cena did that. He put out an apology. I'm not going to play it. It's in Mandarin. And by the way, his Mandarin is not as good as he thinks it is. The translation and the translation on this page are much different. So it's okay, but I mean, not like I speak Mandarin. I took Spanish in school and I learned like 3 words. So don't ask me to speak any other language. But another reason he did the apology, though, Smark, I don't know if you know this or not.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where these Fast and Furious movies are really not only geared to, but where they are the biggest selling, viewed, and like most merch and everywhere?
Yeah, it's a big market over there. I was reading a couple of like companion stories about just how specifically they purposely made a goal to not have like Chinese people be villains in action movies. The whole South Park made a whole episode about it where they took a couple of shots, as they often tend to do. But yeah, there's a lot of pressure on Hollywood from China specifically.
Definitely pressure, but this movie is huge over there. This franchise is huge over in China. They sell a ton of merch. You've seen the movies. I mean, we saw Tokyo Drift. I saw it, at least. I actually watched all those this weekend. My daughter would not take her eyes off the television. It was amazing. Okay. But, I mean, those movies are very big over in China. And let's face it, they would, if China decides that they don't want Fast and Furious because of what John Cena said, you know how many billions they'd lose out on?
Mm-hmm. And I mean, we're talking about a whole grand scheme, like a whole scope of things you can do. Like, not only can you not have it available in the theaters or, for rent, streaming, whatever, you can erase it from being fucking search history, from it being mentioned on social media, just the whole, whole shebang-a-bang.
Absolutely, man. There's a lot of things that they can do. Again, Cena did post a apology. He didn't say what he did wrong, but he did post an apology on Cena Weibo, If I'm saying that wrong, please forgive me. It's basically, I did look it up. It's basically like a microblogging app over there that they allow you to use. And I did mean when I said they do allow you to use it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't have Facebook or Twitter over there.
No. I mean, they have VPNs. Trust me, they're.
Oh, sure, absolutely. TikTok's big over there too.
Well, it's a Chinese company, which was why Trump was being strange and trying to shut it down. Fucking what?
Yeah, I remember that.
What a douche move. And remember, I was a Trump supporter, but what a douche move.
There's a whole podcast dedicated to like the way that TikTok markets to people. It's like very sort of uncomfortable and creepy. But that's a whole different story of just how like companies influence influencers, and it becomes a whole thing about marketing, and basically everybody that uses it that's popular is sort of a whore. But neither here nor there. It's a whole.
Well, I mean, if you're playing a game or something and a ad pops up, usually it's a very good-looking, busty, cleavage-showing woman.
You won't last 5 seconds playing this game.
Or
is that a different?
Yeah, a little different. But I know where you're going, but it's a little different. But that's usually what they are, and sometimes they're just sitting there jumping up and down or making beeping sounds with their boobs. It's just I don't know. They all market like that. Look, dude, those Triller ones are even worse. For Triller, I'm like, oh my god, you might as well just have these girls fucking put a stripper pole there, please. I prefer it. Right. See, right. There you go. Smart's trying to learn Spanish. That shit is hard, man.
Mm-hmm.
And they say English is hard, so think how hard it is for the Spanish-speaking people to come over here and learn English. Jesus.
Right. Well, yeah, I was seeing a thing about that. Basically, just the vowel sounds are just there's a lot more different vowel sounds in English versus other languages.
We're also
Spanish, French, that kind of thing.
Yeah, we're also one of the only languages that a lot of our words mean different things, and just in context of what you're saying could mean something completely different than what you mean to say. So our language is fucking stupid and crazy. But anyway, let's read this little apology. 2 little paragraphs. I'm going to go ahead and rattle this off real quick, Smark. Okay, let me get in my John Cena mode here. Hi, China. I'm John Cena. I'm quoting here, by the way. I swear to God, I'm quoting. I swear on my life, I am quoting. I'm in the middle of Fast and Furious 9 promotions. I'm doing a lot of interviews. I made a mistake in one of my interviews, Cena said, this again in Mandarin. Everyone was asking me if I could use Chinese. The staff of the movie gave me a lot of information. So there was a lot of interviews and information. I made one mistake. I have to say something very, very important now. I love and respect China and the Chinese people. I'm very, very sorry about my mistake. I apologize. I'm very sorry. You must understand that I really love, really respect China and the Chinese people. My apologies. See you. Now, did you see this video, Smark?
No, I read the article, but I didn't watch the actual video.
You ever seen a hostage video?
I was going to say, did Cena happen to be like strapped to a chair, or there's some gentleman behind him?
No, I mean, it didn't look like that, but it looked like there could have been like I said, if China decides they don't want to show this movie, they're out billions. And by them, I mean the Fast and Furious promotion and franchise. Mm-hmm. So I got a feeling he had a little phone call with someone that was like, oh, motherfucker.
Vin Diesel, you're fucking it up for the rest of us.
You better be very, very sorry. Listen, if Vin Diesel ever, listen, they could replace him with Damian Priest in 10 seconds. Who cares? No one would know. No one would fucking know, dude. I'm telling you. Couple extra tattoos, no big deal. No big deal.
Pretty much.
But, yeah, this looked a little bit like a hostage video, Smark. Again, I don't want to get deep into the politics between us and China and everything, but I think there was a phone call to, you better apologize. I don't care what your beliefs are. Now, we all know Cena is a little bit conservative, shall we say, Smark. Second Amendment, we've heard things he said. He owns a lot of guns. And I know liberals own guns too, and you know, Democrat, everyone owns guns. I know it's not just conservatives that do, but I got a feeling he was kind of, I'm not going to say forced, but forced.
Heavily encouraged.
Yeah. So, and I guess the exact word Cena said is he referred to Taiwan as the first country to watch the Fast and Furious 9 film. I guess they had it put out there. The film, this one and a lot of these films are directed by a gentleman from Taiwan, Justin Lin. So that was it. I mean, it I don't think it was worth the blow up, but I also could, you know, who knows who China decided to sick on him, or if they just decided to run their algorithm on him.
Devil's advocate, though. If you're his agent, or if you're in charge of the press and the publicity of this movie, you're with the studio, whoever the fuck is in charge of this, maybe you give him a bit of a heads up. It's like, hey, this probably won't come up. But, you know, if you're ever doing an interview, don't refer to Taiwan as a country.
I don't think it's something you would even think to bring up, to be honest with you.
Because, I mean, in all seriousness, he's doing interviews with the Chinese media. He's learning Chinese, all of the, you know, all these things. He's learning Mandarin, we were saying. Like, maybe you bring this up if they're that sensitive about it. You're like, hey, for, you know, whatever reason, just don't mention Taiwan.
I mean, it did get released there early. He didn't lie. He made a mistake. That's it.
Because, I mean, I feel like Cena, of all people, would be familiar with, here's a list of dumb shit that you shouldn't be able to, you know, that you don't need to say. That sounds completely fucking stupid, but is of high importance to someone that's above you.
Right, and that's the thing. I mean, Cena's such a... I mean, we've seen him with WWE. He knows every word to say. He knows the right words to say when he's on talk shows. He toes the line. He never passes that line. He's a great company man. This is probably the first thing he's really fucked up and done. And again, I don't even think he fucked up. I think he fucking, oh, geez. I mean, we have a lot more to worry about in every country besides just what you call another, you know, city or providence of your, I forget, a sovereign country, whatever you want to call it. We got so much more to worry about. But no, let's worry about John Cena calling Taiwan a country. Even then, some people were still pissed at him over in China. So whatever, you can't please everybody. Your apology, some people are going to believe it, some people aren't. But again, came off like a hostage video, and I think he'll be all right.
Yeah, I think so too.
I do. Now, on the heels of mistakes, Smark, JR seemed to have made a mistake himself this week.
Yes.
I don't know if you caught this one or not.
That is actually a wonderful comparison with the ever open-minded people that are wrestling fans.
Well, and come to find out, the actual statement was taken a little bit out of context. They took a blurb of what he said, and they put it out there, and it was, you know, I don't think, basically what was put out there was this: I don't think anybody is any better than Randy Orton in the wrestling business. And I believe that's the only blurb they took. Am I right, Smark?
Mm-hmm, I believe so. Yeah, I can actually dig this one up if you'd like. I was looking at it earlier today.
Okay. Yeah, see if I'm correct there while I keep rolling with this a little bit here. Now, to put it in some perspective, JR said a lot more than that. I don't know. I believe this was off his podcast, correct?
This is, the Grilling with JR podcast. The quote from Wrestling Inc. is, if AEW commentator Jim Ross recently spoke in his Grilling with JR podcast about Randy Orton being the best wrestler in the world, reiterated his statement on the latest episode. Ross said that while Orton is his hit pick these fucking people never proofread anything. His pick for the best wrestler in the world, another star at AEW, could be given the title as well. If he's not, of course, it's subjective and it's only my opinion. There's a lot of good ones out there right now, Ross said. I don't think anybody is any better than Randy Orton in wrestling business. Of course, that's so subjective. I love Randy's work, although I don't watch it regularly enough to make a great evaluation. In the last several months that I have tuned in to watch some of Randy's segments, he doesn't disappoint. So Jim Ross loves the Fiend feud. How about that? No matter how creative his package to him, he doesn't disappoint. And then he's just like, of course, other people are going to say Kenny Omega, and Kenny Omega's great too, blah, blah, blah.
And that's where the problem came in, is once again, someone took the first sentence of that, and that's where they stopped. They didn't give you where he says, oh, of course, that's so subjective. They didn't tell you where he says, some people may say Kenny Omega, and he actually puts forth some very valid points for Kenny Omega. And he even also admits right there, he says it, I don't watch it regularly enough to make a great evaluation.
Right. He says the exact quote is, I'm sure there's Kenny Omega fans out there that would say Omega is the best wrestler in the world. Some will. And they got the right to their opinion, and I'm not going to argue it. Omega is really freaking good in any event. It's a good time to be a fan. A lot of great talent out there improving their game, adapting, and adding things.
Dude, this is the internet, man. Listen, I really like Big E. I think he's one of the best right now. I really hope they give him a push. Oh, so you don't like anyone else? That's it? Oh, what about Kofi? What about Xavier? He's got 2 other guys in there with him. You don't like them either? No, that's not what I said. I really like oranges. Oh, so you hate bananas and apples? No, that's not quite what I said. That's the internet. Dude. That's the internet right there. And you know what? I got to tell you, Randy Orton has been doing this a long time. I've not liked Randy Orton. I've liked Randy. I've gone back and forth. He has his moments where he's really puts 100% into it, and he has moments where you're sitting there like he really looks like he'd rather be in his bus driving somewhere. But he says it's subjective. The fact that you can have your own opinion, that's what subjective means. You think this is good, I think this is good. Why? But people, once again, they took that first sentence where all it says is, I don't think anybody is any better than Randy Orton in the wrestling business. And that was the first tweet I saw, Smark.
Right.
And that turned into a shitstorm for him. An absolute shitstorm for the guy. I kind of felt bad for him, man. I don't know about you, but I did.
Well, I think there's just a group of people that don't like JR. And unfortunately, the group of people that don't like JR are like a quarter of AEW's fan base based on the fucking reviews and comments I see online of just them nitpicking every single thing he does and just talking about how much better Excalibur is. And like, oh, dear God, everyone's subject to their own opinion, but come on now. Come on now. Yeah. He might be more knowledgeable about current day shit, but he's not going to get over a big moment the same way. And you're fucking delusional if you think so, but you're allowed to.
And listen, even Kofi jumped in. And
that's right. I got it right here.
Yeah.
Like it.
Go for it, man.
Okay, this is also Wrestling Inc. This is from an interview with Daily Star. Kingston offered his 2 cents on the debate. Quote, the whole premise of who is the best is really subjective. Kingston began. Could stop there, really. But as far as Randy is concerned, I think he has the ability to do so many things so well. A lot of people think that because he doesn't do a lot of moves, he's not good. But that's simply not true. The industry is not about the moves. It's about being able to connect with the crowd and express what you're thinking without saying things a lot to make people watch you. If you watch Randy move around the ring, he moves so slowly. Boy, not kidding. And every step has a purpose. You can't take your eyes off him, yet he doesn't do anything, right? To be able to do that is an absolute talent. And he goes on, says, quote, he looks a certain way, he flexes a certain way. You feel that. That's the stuff that makes you great, not just good. What Randy does is unique in that way. He does so much without doing anything at all. So I'd have to put him in the conversation as being one of the greatest, which a lot of that sounds like backhanded compliments.
It really does. It's like, man, you really do a lot for doing nothing. That's like something you say to your coworker, and you're like, dude, do you know you look really busy, but you don't do a fucking thing.
There's a scene in the movie Space Jam where they show Michael Jordan playing baseball, and he strikes out. He goes to the dugout, and the guy says, Mike, that was a really pretty strikeout. When I strike out, it looks ugly, but when you strike out, it looks great. That's what I'm thinking, like Kofi's saying, is like, man, the way that you do a side headlock is way better than anybody else that does a side headlock for 27 minutes.
What's the White Man Can't Jump, Wesley Snipes, hard making, it's just hard making it look this easy, I think he said, or look this pretty.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I should know the whole quote. I've seen the movie 1,000 times. Plus, we reviewed it on Hollywood Hangout. Blech. I don't know. But listen, you're right. This does seem a little backhanded when you think about it. Now, I see where he's going. I do see what he's saying. Randy can go in there not trying to go out there and engage the audience, yet they still want to watch him. Even though he's not trying. You know what? I think I just lost it there. Okay.
Well, just sort of the less is more approach to the whole thing. His style is different than other people's style, which diversity as a whole makes things more interesting. People wrestling different ways and whatnot.
Very true. Very true. So, all right. So, I mean, listen, if you're going to shit on Kofi, then you can shit on JR. If you're going to shit on JR, you can shit on Kofi. But I don't know. Fucking Kofi. I'm reading this and I'm sitting there going, wow, this really... You see the compliments, and then you're like, well, that doesn't seem very complimenting. But anyway, that does. But then this doesn't. But anyway, when
I actually read it like earlier this afternoon, it sounded like compliments to me. But then I read it out loud. I'm just picturing him winking every third word.
Yeah. And you know what? The last little thing that he said was, to be able to last so long, he's even more compelling now in a lot of different ways. He's got a point right there with that sentence. Randy has, I was just saying that before we started this, he's lasted a shitload longer than a lot of people have. He, still looks good, and I'm liking Randy now more than I probably ever have in a long, long time.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever. JR thinks that. You think what you think. Someone thinks what they think. It's subjective.
That's right.
But anyway, I guess we can get, you know what, Spark? Let's jump into, I'm looking at a few things here that we've got. Let's jump into the ratings real quick, and then we'll sort of get into Raw, tie some news into Raw, and kind of go from there.
Sounds good.
All right. Hit those ratings, brah. You posted them, goddammit.
All right. So, it is a real good one. Raw this week was 1.62 million viewers, which leads to the headline from Ev to 4W Online. Raw draws lowest numbers of 2021. And we'll talk a little bit more about it. So Raw on Monday averaged 1.62 million viewers and did a 0.45 rating in 18 to 49, among the lowest numbers in show history in each category. The numbers were down due to the NBA playoffs. I feel like this is just Dave Meltzer showing off that he knows other sports. But anyways,
Dave, wait a minute. Dave Meltzer. No. Stop blaming other television shows. If your show is fucking compelling, if your show has good storylines, people are going to say, do I want to watch a guy bounce a ball, or do I want to watch the show that I watch every Monday night?
Right.
I'm sorry, dude. The NBA has nothing to do with shit. I'm sorry. If Raw is good, you're gonna watch Raw is not good. Like I said, the beatings continue until morale improves, Smark.
That's right.
Didn't mean to cut you
but
off.
then it goes on to say, as compared to the same week last year, viewers were down 6.4%, and 18 to 49 was down 11.8%, which I do believe that was the this time last year they had resumed playoffs. So, yeah.
Actually, this would have been pretty mid-COVID, did they? But they were without fans.
Yeah, no, they did. The NBA resumed playoffs because this week was the year anniversary of the I don't know why I said George Floyd's passing.
Right.
And I remember that there were some fucking Milwaukee, and I forget who else, they ended up boycotting one of the games.
That's right.
So the playoffs were in swing at this point.
You are correct. I do remember that. Some games did. Some teams did stop doing that. But I'm sorry, man. This blaming on, it was this, it was that, it was Biden, it was this, it was the insurrection, it was, there was a show about autopsies that they decided to watch. No, usually, let's face it, the main show that NBA is not usually what beats Raw. Fucking the Real Housewives of Atlanta is what usually crushes Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm sorry, dude. I hate the excuses. They're starting to get old. 1 week it's the NBA. Like I said, 1 week it's the NBA. 1 week it's, Biden had a little thing. Yeah, Biden does his shit at 1 o'clock in the afternoon so he can make it for the fucking early bird special at IHOP. Stop your shit.
There you go.
I'm sorry. I'm a little worked up tonight. I didn't think I would be. I'm sorry.
I like it. I like the energy. But they were showing that, like, 8 p.m. was 1.66, 9 p.m. 1.67, 10 p.m. 1.54. So it's not a matter of people forgetting that it was on or whatever, because Alvarez usually has the theory that when summer comes along, people stay outside for longer, people come in later, people start watching television later on in the night. Plausible. But with this, people started at 8 p.m. and then just dwindled down when it got to 10 p.m. They're just like, yeah, I don't want to fucking see it. Fucking that main event. My God, who would want to watch that? But
it's not even that, dude. Let me put this in a little bit of perspective. 4 matches on that show. Okay? Here. Charlotte versus Asuka, rematch. Mm-hmm. Shelton versus Cedric, more than a rematch. A rematch. A rematch, actually. Mm-hmm. Sheamus and Carrillo. 3 rematches we got so far. And haven't we seen Nia and Shayna versus Natalya and Tamina on SmackDown? So that's 4 matches.
3 weeks in a row.
4 matches.
They won the title on SmackDown. They defended it. They had the rematch on Raw the last week. And then this week they had the second rematch. So the rematch.
4 fucking rematches we've seen a ton of fucking times. And they wonder why they're... Don't blame NBA, Dave, because if this was AEW, you'd have more excuses. No. This was not the fucking NBA. This was shitty fucking programming that no one wanted to watch.
Well, this is my best Meltzer. It was Reading Awareness Day, so everybody was reading books.
Yeah, every excuse.
I can't quite do the animated talking animal, the voice that he does, because his voice basically sounds like he's some sort of a Muppet or just like a cartoon animal character that teaches a young boy about friendship. But he's like a doll that comes alive. He's like, it's important to share.
Let's think of an excuse why you're in trouble. Okay. I think the NBA is on.
Morale has been down lately.
The beatings will continue until that shit turns around, Smark. All right? See what I mean? See?
That's right.
Oh, God. I got to be honest, dude. I've got like 4 notes for Raw.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Because like I just said, the rest of the matches we've seen. Why am I going to waste time?
One of them is just a sad face.
Pretty much. Just a bunch of sad faces. basically, my first note, we'll go ahead and just knock Raw real quick. Like I said, I got 4 little notes, and it ties into some news that we're going to get into. Basically, it starts off MVP's waiting in the ring, introduces Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley comes out with 5 models this time.
I love this because I would love to know more than anything whose idea it was to pick the models this week versus the models last week. Because the models last week seemed like something that like Bobby himself might have curated. Because you had like there were 2 black women. One of them was like kind of chubby, and the other one seemed to be pretty fit. There was like just a random Latina girl there, and there's just one token white lady there. Just so it's like, hey, how does it feel now that she's on the other foot? So. And he comes out this week, and he looks like he has a harem of the girl that is eliminated first in every dating show. Like, they were not necessarily winners this week.
Well, a couple of them were. The first one, the blonde, was MMA fighter Jessica Borga from Bellator. They call her the Black Widow. A girl they just called Christina, who I would imagine was one of the Latin girls. He had a lot of brunettes in this one.
Yes. I immediately resend the comment then upon knowing that one of the women was an MMA fighter. They all looked lovely. They all had great personalities. I'm terribly sorry.
Jessica Borg is actually a good fighter. I've seen her. She was in UFC for a little bit and then moved over to Bellator. There was also personal trainer Yessi Mina, who was the one in the black with the kind of open little straps, diamond straps across her chest area. Fashion model, this one's tough. Ijaza Sadat.
Sure. I mean, they all seem pretty tough based on the names you've been rattling off.
And a fitness trainer, Mia Lands. So these were all very... You had a couple of MMA fighters. You had 2 personal trainers in there. And a fashion model and some girl named Christina. So that was it. They were in another brief backstage segment later on in the show. But that was pretty much the beginning segment there. And the next thing, I was kind of like whatever and a lot of the other stuff. But I think you might know where I'm headed next. They're still treating this women's champion like shit, Rhea Ripley. And at this point, it feels like they're treating her like this because she isn't Charlotte.
More or less, yeah. Well, okay, because they both kind of tie together.
Yeah.
Because you have Drew McIntyre who comes out to Lashley and is like, oh, yeah, I think you're just scared of me. I think that you can't prove that you're as good of a athlete as I am, as good as a competitor as I am. And it's like, sitting there thinking, I was like, he just beat you in like back-to-back title matches. Like, what is it that he has to prove to you? Like, this is some old, like, we were talking about Cena or Hogan shit where they just keep getting challenge after challenge.
Right.
So then you go from that to Charlotte, basically just telling Rhea that she's like trying to play mind games with her because she knows she's not as good. She can't do the things that Charlotte can do, and yada, yada, yada. So it's just like, it's undermine the champion night on Raw.
Well, not even that. And then, Nikki Cross shows up out of nowhere and they do this whole thing. Oh, hey, Nikki can...
Which is great.
Well, here's what shocked me. Nikki comes up and says, I can beat both of you. And Charlotte's like, yeah, sure you can. You're not even worth my time. And then Ripley kind of shits on Charlotte for like, you're always talking down to people. And it's like, aren't you the fucking heel?
Yeah, it's confusing because she like calls her out for, like you said, talking down to people, and then Charlotte's like, "All right, so can you beat Nikki Cross in 2 minutes?" And she's like, "Yeah, she hasn't won a match in like 3 years. I'll absolutely do it." So it's just like they both end up taking turns shitting on Nikki Cross.
Exactly, and then Nikki Cross ends up winning the match because Rhea can't beat her in 2 minutes, and then it was like, well, that's great. And then of course, who wins later on? Charlotte beats Asuka later on. And it's like, can Rhea catch a break? Do y'all really hate her? Did she do something? Do you not like her look? I like her look. A lot of people like her look and want her to get this push. But it's just like, they're like, well, Charlotte wasn't here, and I guess we need to make Rhea look like a decent champion because we don't want to seem like we're hot potatoing the belt.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I'm a big Rhea Ripley fan, but it's very hard to get into anything she's doing right now because they're killing her. I would go back to NXT.
Right. Yeah, I mean, like, to be fair, I guess, in the sense, Rhea or Nikki won, but she didn't actually, it wasn't like a pinfall or a submission. She just outlasted the clock, so she didn't get beaten in 2 minutes. So they announced her as the winner, but there was no actual deciding fall that led to her being declared the winner. So it wasn't like a complete shovel job or whatever you want to refer to it as, but like at the same time, like you could have made it a fucking tag team match, given Charlotte just a random partner, or made it 2-on-1 or whatever the fuck. Like, you could have gone other ways at this.
What about don't use Rhea for this fucking storyline with Nikki Cross?
Right.
I'm sorry, but Nikki Cross is just coming off of where she was the sidekick to Alexa Bliss.
Mm-hmm. And then just seemingly vanished for like 2 or 3 months.
Right. So it's like, this is very weird the way they're doing this, but again, I mean, you said Raw was good. I'm trying to find the good in Raw here.
Well, I mean, the matches that were on the Hulu version, which is important to note, sans the main event, were good. Because you had the who was it now? Yeah, the Drew McIntyre Kofi Kingston match was like the first match they showed on the Hulu version, mind you. From there, you transition into, there was the Riddle Xavier Woods match that was pretty solid. The Oscar Charlotte Flair match, it wasn't bad. It was just the same people having the same match over and over again.
Right, which again, I'm not even going to fucking bring it up. Now, the Riddle Woods match was actually my next little note right here, because that was a really, really fucking good match. I really enjoyed that match, and I got to tell you, man, first of all, no Orton this week, but with all the theatrics and comedy that Woods does, you really sometimes, I'm not going to say forget, but it just goes in the back of your mind that he is a damn good wrestler in the ring, man. And I know every time he's in the ring, he's good, but when he's out there for singles, man, the guy shines.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing really at all to do with his talent, like thereof, whatever it is, because he's just given a role. Like, he's not featured prominently in any sort of singles capacity. He's usually out there, either in a tag team match or just sort of being Kofi's hype man when Kofi has his singles matches. So it's just a matter of not a lack of talent, but a lack of opportunity. They gave him that opportunity, and he put in some fucking serious work.
He did, man. The what was it? The fireman's carry throw to the apron. Just a lot of really good fucking moves in this match, and he got out of it. He countered a lot of moves. I know it's all fucking scripted. Stop it. But Woods just, I always, again, when he's out there with New Day, even Kofi, it's just all theatrics and smoke and mirrors, and you forget that he's a hell of a fucking wrestler in the ring, man. You really do. Sometimes, just, I don't know why. But I watched this match, and I was like, damn, great fucking match. Riddle hits an RKO to win it, and he was so excited.
Yeah, I liked it.
He was so excited. I did like it, too. It was a good RKO, and I don't know, man. It was pretty cool. Pretty cool little...
It was kind of cool because, like, they show him throughout the match trying to win in different ways, and there's just none doing. And, like, they don't go full on with it. It's a little bit subtle, but you start to see the switch kind of turn in his head. He starts getting a little bit more upset throughout the match, and then finally he's just like, you know what, fuck it, this works for him. Bam, RKO.
Getting a little Randy Orton in him, I can just see they're gonna, I think they're gonna try to make him a little more serious.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think Randy's going to strike a little nerve with him and make him a little more serious. And really, that's I got one more little note. I was going to play the Eva Marie vignette because she's almost ready to come in. And I can get a beer while I'm doing that. So let me get that loaded up here real quick. And I got the video because I kind of don't mind looking at Eva Marie when she's talking. So here we go.
Along my journey, I've learned that as an athlete, it's just as important to build yourself up from the inside as much as the outside. Physical strength starts with the right mindset. The weight of the world may tear you down, but discipline and consistency will overcome weakness. I have learned to become my own cheerleader, and I want to be an advocate for others. That's why I train men and women all around the world to build better versions of themselves. This is Evolution.
Ooh, more of the evolution, Mark. What do you think of that?
Well, evolution is a mystery. We do know that much.
We do. Now, what she says in that video is she does train people all over the world. She's part of a thing online called iFit.
Mm-hmm.
And she's part of that. So she does stuff for them. She actually does do training. She has videos out with her husband. So I got a feeling they brought her back for more than one reason. I mean, is she going to come in as like a Simon Dean trying to push like protein shakes and shit?
We were on somewhat of the same. We were in the same book, but we were in different pages. Because I was sitting there thinking, I was like, all right, so who's going to be her skip and chick? Like, this is fucking. It's like you're going to bring back like the fucking. I don't even know, fucking Gemini or whatever. Like you said, the Simon Dean thing. You're going to fucking retool the Body Donnas. It's like if I were even Lee, I'd watch very carefully how that turned out for the female in that role. Just be careful.
Yeah, and they could be bringing, the only other thing it looks like is they're going to try to bring her back as some serious type of wrestler, which.
Oh boy, oh boy.
That's a great way to put it. Oh boy, the old like Buddy Holly's saying, oh boy.
Like, does this become like a weird thing where, like, if you try to multiply negative numbers, they cancel each other out? Like, if you put Eva Marie in a match with like Nia Jax, like, does the referee get injured instead of one of them?
No, the commentators get injured.
Look out, Spanish announce team! Look out!
Shit! There goes Jesus. Maybe that's why Adnan Virk left. That was actually kind of where I was going anyway, was with Adnan Virk, everybody. It's funny, he was on Monday, everything was going fine, and it seems that they have parted ways. Adnan Virk put out a very nice little tweet thanking everyone for his work. WWE put out a very short statement. Let me just read this to you. WWE and Adnan, and I think I'm saying his name right. I think it's Adnan, so I apologize. Yeah. But I knew a guy named Adnan that I worked with in Florida, so it was spelled the exact same way. So whatever. WWE and Adnan Virk have mutually agreed to part ways. WWE thanks Adnan for his work. Not even future endeavored. Not even the future endeavor. They didn't even wish him luck in his future endeavors. They just said, hey, we've parted ways. Hey, thanks, buddy. Now, fuck you and go back to sports announcing because you suck at this shit.
Pretty much.
Anything else? Now, go ahead.
Yeah, no, well, what I was thinking more than anything is because it's been less than 2 months. So, like, does it make it better that they both sort of realized that this just wasn't going anywhere, so they just stopped? Or does the fact that it ended so abruptly somehow make it worse? Because, like, you think about some of the other terrible fucking people that they've had there. They've at least had multiple months, if not years, of fucking, like a Mike Adamle, fucking Rob Bartlett, all these fucking people, all these terrible, terrible people.
But now there's so many people, and I gotta tell you, they need to stop with this. And they have already replaced Adnan with Jimmy Smith, who recently hosted the NXT TakeOver pre-show with Sam Roberts. I mean, I prefer Jimmy Smits. Jimmy Smith, but I mean, I don't know. I'll give him a chance. I'll put it that way. I didn't see the pre-show, so I don't know how he did, but they have replaced Adnan now.
Well, but the funny part was he put out a tweet basically saying, was like, I was a fan back in the day. Like, I don't know too much about what's going on right now, but, back in the day I used to love. And I was like, this is literally how the last one started. Where it was like, I'm not familiar with current day shit, but boy, oh boy, did I love that Jake the Snake. Oh, he doesn't work here anymore? Oh boy.
Exactly, man. It's gonna be a little crazy, but if you really want to hear crazy, as soon as Mr. Verk was released and a certain company found out about it, a certain company is going to do an MMA show in Thailand. Let that sink in just for a second. In Thailand. And that promotion would be, want to call it?
Well, of course. Yeah. Everyone can follow this progression because we were talking about Fight TV and Triller, becoming a force in boxing and MMA and things like that. So, what would be the most logical, company entity that could be looking to get into the circus spectacle of random fights?
It would be porn company Cam Soda.
Of course.
If you've never
speaking of ads,
speaking of, Cam Soda is a porn site. They put out mostly younger girls, lots of stepsister porn.
Which is why they're going to be running a promotion in Thailand.
Which is why they're running a promotion.
Themselves.
Exactly, in Thailand. Now, what is the name of this thing they're running? It is the Wild MMA Fight Circus Volume 3. So there's been 2 more of these that we have missed. This will feature, are you ready, guys? You ready for this? A Siamese boxing match, Mark.
Yes.
With tied together 2-man teams. An Indian leg wrestling between female Russian fighters. This sounds like something you would see on Apartment Wrestling.
It sounds like false advertising, if anything. Neither of those women appear to be Indian. You said they were Russian. You're lying to me already.
I think so. A Muay Thai fight inside of a phone booth. A human cockfighting bout with karate versus taekwondo. Ooh, that's going to be a striking versus kicking. That, to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing that. An intergender Muay Thai fight, plus a 2-on-1 main event with former UFC fighter Will Chope taking on local fighters Bank and No Money and more. The legendary Bob Sapp. Oh, shit. Bob Sapp will be in the house. Bob fucking Sapp.
Former Chicago Bear, former Pride fighter, current just a guy who will lose to you for about $20
and can lift the bleachers in the Adam Sandler version of Longest Yard. That was him also.
What was funny was in the Wikipedia article for Bob Sapp, but I'll give you time if you don't know what he looks like, just look up Bob Sapp while I'm telling the story, was that they said that his NFL career was cut short due to alleged steroid use. Alleged steroid. If he is not using steroids, I don't know what to tell you.
Well, when you test positive, I believe the word alleged goes out the door. But anyway.
When you break the fucking machine that they use to test you.
Shit, you should have said, hey, send the coach to take a fucking you send the limo and the coach here and I'll take a drug test.
Actually, former New Japan champion Bob Sapp. This guy has had quite the adventure in his life.
Yes, he has. Now, Mr. Verk has not publicly responded to the offer, and I'm hoping he doesn't respond to this offer because
I'm hoping he says yes. It would be amazing.
Just the Siamese boxing match with 2 teams tied together sounds. I hate to say, but I've got to see the other 2 of these. I've got to find these.
Like, this reminds me exactly of an episode of The Simpsons where they go into international water and then just like 5 minutes later they're having two monkeys knife fight. Like, this seems all of this seems so seedy that I will absolutely watch it if given the opportunity.
Oh my god, dude, this is and literally, he got released like Monday after or Tuesday afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Like Tuesday evening, this came over. I could read what the should I read it? What the vice president of Cam Soda said?
Of course, why not?
Okay.
Why not?
Dear Mr. Verk, after hearing of your parting of ways with WWE, I want to give you the chance to get back behind the announcer's desk for an event like you've never experienced before.
Sure.
Through the course of your illustrious career, which this will put in the fucking gutter, you've covered everything from college football and baseball, basketball, even professional wrestling, albeit brief. But the one thing missing on your resume is MMA. That's where fights... Go ahead. What?
Even the Cam Soda guy shit on his wrestling tenure.
I know he put
like, you weren't very good at wrestling, but would you like to call some bum fights?
That's where the Fight Circus presented by Cam Soda comes in, with Fight Circus Volume 3 set to take place on June 19th in Thailand. I'd like to formally extend a $50,000 offer for you to be the official play-by-play announcer for the event. The combination of your professionalism, words are hard, and wildness of the fights will take place. We'll take the broadcast to a whole new level. The card includes, like I said, the Muay Thai fight inside of a phone booth, the battle, UFC veteran, blah, blah, blah. This is a chance at redemption, Adnan. After 7 long weeks catching flack from wrestling fans, this is your opportunity to stick it to the haters and position yourself back on the pantheon of broadcasting titans like Anik, Buck, and Scully. If interested, please reach out to me at Darren at Cam Soda. Would love to coordinate a phone call to discuss logistics. I should have hit this email up and said, bro, you've got to come on my show. Oh, my God. I look forward to hearing from you. Best, Darren Parker, Vice President, Cam Soda.
I feel like we could send him an email, like, look, we'll do it for $25.
Listen, I'll do it for $10,000 right now. I will do this for $10,000. I've never been to Thailand, but I would go there in June. That's fine with me. I'll do this for $20,000. I'll do it for 20. And I will have a combination of professionalism and wildness of the fights for you.
This guy is a fucking genius because he knows damn well what it is that he's suggesting, and he knows how ridiculous it is. Because at the very end of that, you even said it's like, now's your chance to be on the same pantheon as Joe Buck and Finn Scully. It's like, no. Like, you're a fucking liar. No, everybody loves Joe Buck if you follow sports. So that's a good way to get haters off of you. Joe Buck has no haters at all. Everybody loves him.
Oh my God, dude! This was the one that there was. I was going through and like cutting out news for the night because I had too many, and I'm seeing this and I'm like, oh no, this one's got to stay.
Oh yes, this is my absolute favorite news story.
This we should have ended with this, but don't worry, we're not going to. We have more, but yeah. So there you go. Listen, Adnan, whatever you want to be called. I say take it, bro. I mean, hey, it's either going to put your career in the crapper or it's going to send you on that pantheon back to, stardom that Cam Soda thinks by doing this you will. I say do it, brother. I say do it.
It could set off, worst comes to worst, it could set off a very new and different and interesting career in other avenues.
It could. I mean, like, good-looking guy, nice smile. Maybe, Adnan versus Sonny. The back door is open again. Who knows? Produced by Cam Soda and MMA Fight Circus.
Adnan Verk's Twerk and Jerk Volume 2.
MMA Fight Circus Volume 4.
Oh boy. I'm just picturing the poor Ed Nanberg being like the fucking Todd Pettengill in like in a porn movie. I'm just like showing up and just promoting their merchandise and shit.
My God, man. Talking about porn during fucking COVID season. Jesus Christ, man. We got COVID still going on here, and you're talking about porn.
Mm-hmm. It's important to wear your mask.
Yeah, I guess it is. Christopher Kane, how's it going, buddy? Glad to see you in the chat room. Perfect time to tune in, sir. All right, Smart. Speaking of COVID, you got something here on the old COVID.
That's right. Okay, so last time we were talking about them, we were talking about how New Japan had to cancel a couple of their shows, the Tokyo Dome show, because of COVID outbreak, COVID restrictions and rules and whatnot. Japan's been getting hit kind of hard. So things have gotten better for them since then. Their world champion had to vacate because of an injury, and now multiple people on their roster have tested positive for COVID. So this is from Wrestling Inc. Another New Japan Pro Wrestling superstar has confirmed coming down with COVID-19. Tokyo Sports has reported that former IWGP Tag Team Champion, I don't know why I put a T there, Tag Team Champion, Taichi, a lot of T's there, also contracted sometime after New Japan Pro Wrestling Dantaku series in Fukuoka. Probably. I don't know. You don't know either, so don't judge me. 9 wrestlers from New Japan reportedly contracted COVID-19 following the Wrestling Dantaku events. Thus far, the only other known names are Kazuchika Okada, who revealed his own condition days ago, Jay White and David Finlay, with the latter's father revealing both wrestlers' condition in a podcast appearance, which is also interesting because he had been sort of doing double duty. He was also in Impact. So I don't know how or if that affects them in any sort of tangible way.
Yeah, I don't know. But listen, guy's back, doing fine, thank God. So, hey, at least he's back, coming out there doing his thing, man. But, yeah, I remember when we talked about that, having, a little outbreak going on over there. So, there you go. And I believe we actually talked about the Dantaku series.
They had a couple of matches that were called off, or like the card was greatly switched around because of the outbreak. So it's kind of just more details about what it is that happened and just how many people that ended up testing positive. And I mean, those are, for them, very big names, because we're talking about like former world champions here. So people that definitely, they were starting to allow people that would, people that the audience would pay to see, essentially.
Yeah, and luckily guys that are in good shape are much more prone to, not have very many symptoms and kick this thing pretty quick. Drew McIntyre, a lot of guys, but it's the overweight guys you got to worry about when they get it. So good for him, man, getting back out there, and, he had gotten it, and he's good now, obviously.
Yes, they said that he recovered by playing video games. I was like, wow. That is a man of my heart, I
suppose. Would do it. That's what I would do, man. That's definitely what I would do right there. So, all right. Now, Smark, I added one more little thing. I just actually found it on Wrestling Inc. while I was reading your story.
Sure.
AEW star Brian Cage has joined the cast of a horror movie called Jasper. You heard of this?
I have not heard about this. Tell me more.
Well, he's going to be playing a character called Hammer in the movie, which makes sense. This guy is a beast of a man. This film is being directed by, it's produced by Sean Cairo. I guess they call him Pitchfork. Maybe he's playing that in the movie. But it is Jasper. It's also going to star Kane Hodder, Friday the 13th franchise. I believe.
Yeah, he played Jason. He's like the guy who's played the most Jasons, or in the movie the most as Jason, because for a while every new sequel would bring about a new Jason. So he has like 4 or 5 under his belt.
There you go. Friends with old Nasty Neil over there on Without Your Head podcast. If you guys are horror fans, go check that podcast out. Also going to have Bill Moseley from Devil's Rejects, Michael Berryman from The Hills Have Eyes, and Emmy winner Bill Obrist Jr. from The Chair. This doesn't seem like some B-rated fucking movie he's going in, man.
No, not at all.
No. So, go ahead, please.
Well, I'm kind of looking forward to it. I hadn't heard about it before, but the names of the people that are attached, like you said, are actual pretty synonymous horror movie names, some of the legends there. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. That could be pretty interesting.
I think it will be, man. I'm not a big horror fan, but, man, there's some... Well, let's see. The tagline for this film is "The hunt for the world's most vicious serial killer has begun." Let's go to IMDb. They have a link here for IMDb. What did I say? IMDb. What the fuck is wrong with me?
That's right.
They have an Alistair. I'm looking to see if I know any other actors in this movie. Tara London. That name sounds familiar. Brian Cage, right in there. Has he done any other movies, Brian Cage?
Not that I recall.
Let's see here. No, looks like he was a voice for Barbarian Man in a movie called The Bloody Man. That sounds like a B movie.
It sounds like it'd be terrible, but I would still watch it.
Yeah, and the rest is all wrestling, but that was the only thing. But hey, this might get him a little more, man. You know, this is another good move for AEW, having one of their guys do something like this with, again, horror icons. Kane Hodder is a horror icon, dude.
Right.
You know it. I know it. I mean, I'm not a big horror fan. I know who Kane Hodder is.
Right, yeah, and Hills Have Eyes are actually one of my favorite horror movies. So they have Pluto from The Hills Have Eyes as the character that he played. So he was actual like one of the sort of main characters in that movie. So it wasn't like it was just a random one-off cameo or whatever.
All right, this movie's coming out in 2022, according to IMDb here. Says a young woman and her friends are stalked by a vicious serial killer who feeds his victims to his pigs. That was actually a storyline of a Criminal Minds episode.
Interesting.
It was. It was actually the whole storyline of it. So, and the pig farmer is played by Michael Berryman, who, that name sounds familiar too.
Yeah, he was from The Hills Have Eyes.
Okay, there you go.
And he did a whole bunch of other things because I was looking at his IMDb. He was in like a couple episodes of Elf.
Oh my God, this is the guy from Weird Science.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the weird looking
mutant biker.
The mutant biker from Weird Science. Holy shit!
Devil's Rejects, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. He has done quite a bit of shit.
Oh, I know exactly who this fucking guy is. You give me an 80s movie with him in it, and I'm excited already. There you go. There you go.
Also, in relation to horror movies, I feel like my point has been confirmed. One, Stephen Millen, who posts our show, we thank him for that, shares our show. He recently saw Army of Darkness with one Dave Bautista. He enjoyed it quite a bit, which just goes to show that zombie match had its merits.
And I've seen people who couldn't even make it through the movie.
Well, he said he had a lot of fun. I mean, kind of thing worth noting is he also said that it was the first sort of movie-going experience that he's had as of late, post-COVID. So that does probably have a big impact of reason why, but there you go.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I there's plenty of movies that aren't good that I enjoy. I just said, did you hear me say I watched Fast and Furious this weekend? See what I mean? I'm never going to sit here and tell you those movies are good. They're not. But I like shit blowing up. I like the sound of cars. I like it's my kind of movie. I'll just put it that way. And I don't know why, but my daughter cannot get enough of action movies, dude. She watched Predator with me last night.
Nice.
She likes action movies. She likes the sound of the guns going off. She likes the cars. And, the Fast and Furious movies are the colors are saturated, very oversaturated. Almost looks like an episode of CSI. So, and the fast cars, and when they do the nitro scenes in the first movies where they're actually racing, where did that go? So, she likes him. She likes it. It's kind of like kind of good for her to watch. So, I don't know. Listen, if she's a huge action fan when she grows up, I'm not going to be pissed about that. That's going to be a good thing for me. So, that's Smart, we got one more thing to talk about.
Yeah.
One more, and then we can get into NXT. You've got the ratings posted right there for NXT. Once again, very disappointing. Compared to last week, it's even more disappointing. But Buff Bagwell, Mark.
Boy, oh boy. Speaking of positive news.
We talked about him several months ago. He did a cameo where he looked beat up, said he fell. That sounds like a excuse to me. He's been arrested on numerous charges earlier this week. And guess where, Mark?
I know exactly where.
You know
He's
where.
going to be serving hard time down there in Cobb County, Georgia.
In Cobb County, Georgia, sir. He was arrested down there in Cobb County, Georgia. Bagwell, Marcus Bagwell. We all know Buff Bagwell's real name is Marcus. He was booked on the following charges this past Saturday. Are you ready for this?
Sure. I believe 11 was like the exact number, but I could be wrong about
this. If you want to keep count as I go, that's fine. I didn't even count this, but the fact that he has such a small bond for his charges are very weird. But they're not huge charges. But let's go ahead and do some of these. Driving under the influence of drugs, which is a misdemeanor. Open container violation, another misdemeanor. So I guess this explains why some of the charges are low. They're misdemeanors. Hit and run duty of driver to stop at or return to the scene of an accident. That's 4 charges of misdemeanors. Speeding, wow. Let me tell you something. If they've got all these other charges on you and they still hit you with speeding, you were a dick to the cop. I can't prove this, but let me tell you, if you hit speeding along with your charges and failure to yield when entering intersection, misdemeanor, giving false name or address or birth date to law enforcement officer, another misdemeanor, following too closely, 3 charges, reckless driving, a misdemeanor, driving with a gore or median or within a gore or median or emergency lane, misdemeanor, duty upon striking a fixed object, which means, which kind of goes back to the hit and run. Where was I here? Driving on the wrong side of the roadway, a misdemeanor. License to be carried and exhibited on demand, misdemeanor, which means he wouldn't give up his license also. So yes, they're all misdemeanors. But doesn't this many misdemeanors kind of equal a felony? I mean, when you do
he definitely filled out his punch card.
I mean, when you do the math, exactly. I think when you punch this many holes, it's like, hey, you've reached a felony at this point,
Congratulations. So, sir, if you could remove your top hat, this is a serious matter.
Hey, if you get 5 punches in your card, you get a free felony on us.
That's right.
Yeah. I mean, we all know he suffered a bad car accident a long time ago, and he still lived in Cobb County at that time. But this is a different thing. It doesn't really get into exactly what happened. Sounds to me like he was really fucked up, driving on the wrong side of the road, hit someone, kept going, had an open container, and I'm just going by the charges here, what I think happened. I haven't seen a report on this. The fact that he gave false information to the cop means he was trying to, didn't want him to know who he was. Obviously, I guess I get that one.
No, I'm not even trying to be funny here. Genuinely speaking, do you think that he was potentially because he clearly appears to have been fucked up. Mm-hmm. Do you think he just, as a force of habit, defaulted and used his wrestling name? Because, I mean, he still sort of wrestles, does conventions, and all kinds of shit. Has Buff Bagwell. Plausible.
He might have been trying to save his career, yeah. I could see that. I could see that. Listen, like I said, there are a lot of misdemeanors on here. He received a $4,000 bond for the 5 charges, a $10,000 for the rest, so $14,000. He has been released to a bail bonds company, so he is out as of right now, and he has no attorney right now. I would expect to see a GoFundMe for Buff Bagwell, and I hate to say, but reading those charges, I'm not quite sure I would donate. To be honest with you.
I mean, kind of bringing it on yourself.
Yeah, I mean, look, we've all been once again worried about Buff Bagwell since that, like I said, that cameo video. We played the video. He was clearly fucked up during the video,
Yes.
beat up. He had bruises on his face. He had a black eye. His lip was swollen. And he's like, "Oh, I fell." Oh, well, yeah, okay, well, okay there, battered wife. What really happened?
Yeah, I mean, you tend to fall when you're, too inebriated to stand. It happens. Gravity has a way of doing that to you. I can attest to as much.
Yeah, and if someone knocks you on your ass, you tend to fall also.
True.
If you fall down and someone's fist happens to be cocked in front of you, that can happen also. Gee.
Very true.
Oh, I fell in the shower. Yeah, well, was there a guy standing there with his fist cocked?
His fist wasn't the only thing that was cocked.
All right. I got to admit, that was an NYPD Blue line. That was from NYPD Blue, that line.
There you have it.
Greg was working at a bar, played by Gordon Clapp. Greg was working at a bar, and he's not supposed to do that. And he had a black eye. And he told the boss, "Yeah, I fell down in the shower." And Andy looked at him and went, "Was there a guy standing there with his fist cocked when you fell?"
By the by, in sort of relation to that, the first time, the time I ended up getting busted as a teenager for smoking weed, my mom asked me what that smell was because I was just picking me up from a friend's house. And I said that I had fallen into some leaves. And she looked at me and then proceeded to ask, were they on fire? And at which point I knew that I was just kind of done for, and I just had to kind of fess up. So it's like, well, fuck.
You should have said, yes, they were, as a matter of fact. How did you know?
Yes, it was tragic. It was autumn, people burning leaves, that kind of thing, yeah.
That we were jumping in them. They were burning. It was fun. Come on, Mom.
Thanks.
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, anyway, Buff Bagwell, I hope DDP, if by any chance you're listening, you might want to get a hold of old Buff, the stuff, and see if you can help him out with some stuff. But Buff's in rough shape, has been for a while, and I really hope he can get back in shape, get his life back, and sober up, stop doing what he's doing. He was talking about that girl in that video and how, she looked like a partier too. Sometimes that woman in your life can be the goddamn downfall of your life.
Whew. Speaking of which, I don't think you've seen it yet, and there's still some people who haven't, so I won't go too deep into detail, but I caught The Dark Side of the Ring on Brian Pillman. And my God, Melanie Pillman she was very honest, but none of it was pretty at all. It was just very rough. She kind of did a lot of drugs and a lot of terrible things.
Well, it was the 80s.
Very true. Very true. It was the 80s.
Come on, look what people were wearing in the 80s. You don't think drugs were flowing like a motherfucker? Jesus.
Yeah.
Crocodile Dundee, the guy, is doing fucking cocaine everywhere.
This is a knife I used to cut me coke.
That was a great movie. I like that movie. But anyway, once again, I do hope Buff Bagwell gets some help and gets straight and can straighten out his life. And listen, if it's that girl dragging you down, brother, sometimes you got to cut them loose no matter how they look, man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you got to do it. I got no proof of that. I don't know. I'm just kind of just kind of throwing shit on the wall, seeing what sticks, man. But Smart, if you want to go ahead, we can hit the ratings for NXT. Then we'll get into NXT. I have 4 notes for NXT, and we do have 1 video to play, which will be the Ted DiBiase and Cameron Grimes. Yeah, I can't do it justice, so we'll just play some of it.
Well, yes. So NXT 698,000 viewers, 0.13 in the 18 to 49, which, like you said, it was down from last week, but actually up from 2 weeks ago, which was 697. So an extra 1,000 people from 2 weeks ago.
That's the scary part. You're gaining 1,000 viewers, which is donkey dick, dude. That's fucking shit. 1,000 viewers is nothing. That literally, that could be a fucking glitch. They could have tuned in for 30 minutes. Who knows?
Right.
I can't understand why NXT can't gain the momentum. It's a good show. They are putting on when you watch Raw and then you watch NXT the next night, it's a glaring difference of shows. You can see it.
But I think that's kind of the thing is like Raw, just for whatever reason, that's always what the kind of end all be all in terms of, the company, the content or whatever. Everybody knows Raw, everybody sees Raw or whatever. So if Raw sucks, just for whatever reason, people aren't so inclined to, it's like, well, if this is what they're doing for their A show, I'm not going to watch their B show or their C show or whatever. Because, SmackDown has consistently for months now, and I mean months now, I'm talking like since September, has been a better show than Raw. And, I would be damned if I could find anybody who, outside of just what we do, watches SmackDown for leisure.
Yeah, SmackDown definitely, though, has been a better show. I 100% agree with that, but I don't understand it. And Friday will, we're not going to get any ratings for AEW. AEW went on tonight. I forgot about that. But, AEW is still doing 8s and 9s, and that's where you got to be. You can't be. Listen, USA, I don't know if they're happy with these numbers. I got a feeling they're not, especially on a Tuesday night. But what happens if USA says, listen, this ain't worth it? This ain't worth it. And they decide to dump this show. You think Raw is bad now?
Oh, for sure.
Ooh, the beatings will continue, Smark. The beatings will continue. If they have to admit that they're wrong and put NXT back on Peacock, oh, good God, sir.
We look forward to expanding our partnership with the Peacock Network by offering additional content. I can do it. I've read enough of these fucking press releases to be able to tell you how they're going to spin this. I can do it for them. Again, give me like $200.
Listen, whatever you do, don't call Taiwan a country, okay?
That's right.
Whatever
Taiwan,
you do.
not a country. Tibet gets what it deserves.
Beautiful.
If you ask me.
Okay. All right. Oh, thank God you didn't say. Thank God you didn't say Palestine or Israel. My God, we could start a fucking war right here on the show.
That's really more Sami Zayn's department.
I don't even want to get into it. I really don't. I don't want anyone dying.
Sort of as a funny aside to the whole Taiwan thing, CM Punk put out a tweet that said, new bio. And the bio was literally one sentence that just says, Taiwan is a country, period.
I'm telling you, dude, literally, if you Google it, hold on. Let me do this here. Is Taiwan a country? Right there. I Googled it earlier just to get a little research in for the show here. Taiwan officially it says a republic, but it also says right here, if you scroll down just a little bit, Taiwan is a country in China.
Fun fact, Wikipedia also not allowed in China.
Yeah, it said literally. Actually, it says Officially, the Republic of China, it does say Taiwan, traditionally Chinese, simplified. Officially, the Republic of China is a country in East Asia with 23.57 million inhabitants. Taiwan is among the most densely populated countries. This is Google. So if John Cena is wrong, Google is wrong, everyone is wrong, we're all wrong, this whole fucking place is wrong, what the fuck are we going to do now, Smark?
This whole damn court is out of order.
So really, John Cena apologized for nothing. He should have said, look, motherfuckers, Google this shit. I am now the LeBron James of WWE.
Look, guys, I just want fucking money, okay? Whatever. I don't care. If it's a country, it's not a country. Whoever pays me more, I say there.
I'm just saying, if you Google it, it's just as confusing. And John Cena didn't really say anything that bad. Anyway, let's move on from there. What do you say? So
John Cena was framed by Dan Sullivan.
I know. Well, who knows who? But I'm just saying. Like I said, I believe Cena got a little phone call saying, apologize. Yakuza will be after you, if not, sir. We're going to send Hakushi. Hakushi's coming after him.
Good old Hakushi, fucking showing up with the face paint and everything.
It's
yeah, I wish I could remember his actual name. It was like Jun Kasai.
Jun Kasai is a fucking deathmatch wrestler.
Damn close though. I'm looking it up. Hold on.
Of course you are. But yeah, it's fucking poor John Cena over there just getting worked. Oh, how close were you?
Kenzei Shinzaki.
So close.
I mean, completely
So
wrong
close.
on the first name. Or no, Jinsei Shinzaki. Okay.
Well, you never know. And
I think I said June instead of Jin. I said June.
Maybe
I said something. I was wrong. Okay, is the point.
Maybe in their language it sounds the same, Spark. You never know.
In my language, it sounds exactly alike. That was the problem.
They said Hakushi after him. Holy shit. I don't know, man.
By the way, he is from Japan.
He is. I did, and I've heard some shit that he's not exactly a guy to fuck with.
No.
So it's like suddenly it's like a Bourne movie. They release all these old wrestlers to take out Cena.
Send in Quang. Like, we gotta Quang. You're gonna be quite the surprise when you figure out who's under that mask, brother. Not only is he not Chinese.
Oh shit! Send in the gobbledygooker. Yeah, he'll get him.
Well, I wonder if like their rulers are different from like the Saudi Arabia rulers who don't know that like certain wrestlers are dead if they're still expecting like fucking the guy from Demolition to show up.
Oh, dude,
their manager, Mr. Fuji, that's who I was looking for. They expect like Mr. Fuji to show up, the Orient Express to show up.
Well, look, they would have sent Yokozuna after him and been very disappointed.
You're dead and Samoan. This is a bunch of bullshit. I mean, hopefully the Young Dragons are legit. We'll just send JD Noble after the fucking shit.
I totally had something I was about to say and I forgot what it was.
It is just now dawning on me just how many like offensive Asian wrestling characters they've wheeled out that aren't even played by Asian people. Like, it is just so sad.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, look here. Here comes Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. I think he might be Samoan too. Okay.
I'm on it. Google machine here.
Nah, I don't think he is. His last name is Youngblood. I'm not sure exactly what Ricky is. But oh God, how the fuck did we get back onto that subject?
Well, he was born in New York and he lives in Knoxville, Tennessee. So he's under Kane's ordinance.
Is he?
Like, honest God, Kane is his governor. I believe.
No, that's Knox.
Knox.
That's Knox County.
Yeah. Well, it's Knoxville in the county of, let's see, Knox County, yeah.
Oh. So he is under Kane's rule.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I was pretty sure, but I wanted to check to make sure. But yeah, that's kind of like the whole tourist trappy area of Tennessee is Knox County, I believe.
All right. There you go. All right. That makes sense. I bet Ricky voted for him. He's a family man. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
He's a family man. Kane the Libertarian. Libertarian Kane. So anyway.
I won't go into great detail, but Kane had a stance that was unpopular with one of the residents, and they put up a sign in their yard that said, "The wrestler mayor is a moron." And that was like the greatest piece of politics I've ever seen.
And Kane took a picture of it and was like, I believe in free speech, even for this guy, basically. And he's right. He's a free speech absolutist. Like, he believes in complete free speech for anyone. You know, you can go out there and say what you want when you want. I'm not completely on that train.
I'm a big fan of the guy's work, like as a wrestler, but it's just funny that it's like he's heard way worse from way more people than moron. Trust me.
Yeah, I definitely believe so. But I don't know. It's just amazing how many wrestlers have gotten into politics, man. I mean, you know, it's weird. But it seems like everyone now has jumped into politics. So anyway, let's jump into NXT and not talk about politics. Before
sounds good.
Before I lose another co-host.
Well, the fucking thing is, no. Anyway.
I mean, hey, look, it happens, obviously. But anyway, NXT.
He just got like a bunch under the desk, like fucking paper hats.
Oh God, I don't know. It's all over anyway. Look, Trump
again. Yeah. Anyways,
he's gone. Trump's gone. The Orange Man is gone, folks. Calm down.
But from one Orange Man to the other, Pete Dunne on NXT.
He did win his match. Bobby Fish did look good out there. You're right. He did for a little bit of for the time off. That wasn't even a note that I had. But actually, I'll tell you the truth. The first note I had was the first match they showed was the Shotzi, Ember Moon, and Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai.
Mm-hmm.
I got to tell you, man. And I'm watching this match, and I'm sitting there going, you know, we've seen a lot of matches with these two, with these four, and you know, I had taken Raw notes too, and I'm looking at my Raw notes like, you know, I'm bitching about rematches on Raw, and I'm seeing rematches on NXT, and I'm like, this is so much better. I'm not,
mm-hmm.
and I guess it's because these women have so. They really have good chemistry inside, outside the ring, promo wise, build wise. This whole thing has been good. I'm enjoying this whole thing with them, and that's really all I could think during this match is, man, this is a far cry from Raw.
Some of that also has to do with how long they stretch it out too, and like what is fresh in between that, because it just feels like that whole Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre thing's been going on for what feels like an eternity at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on a while too. I mean, this has been going on since the Women's Championship was introduced just a couple of months ago. So
yeah, February.
Yeah, so this has been going on for a while too, but it just doesn't seem like it's dying. I don't know why. And again, I'm watching Raw, and then I watch this, and I'm like, you know, wow, what a glaring difference in the shows where I'm on one show I'm bitching about all the rematches. On this show I'm like, man, these four could fight forever and I'd be happy.
Sure. Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit. I enjoyed the, I don't know if it was just she fucked up on accident and I'm reading too much into it, but they tried to do like a tight shot of Raquel Gonzalez. She spins her belt around so the belt's by her back, and she does the whole flexing so her back muscles pop, that whole spiel. Well, I noticed that Dakota Kai kept getting in the way of the shot. So I don't know if she was messing up on purpose or if they're trying to tease like a little bit of dissension, her trying to get a little bit more of a camera hog. It's hard to say.
I think they are. I think that's exactly what they're going for there. I think that's what they're going there for. But really did like this match. I mean, obviously they weren't going to have Raquel eat the pin, and they didn't. But we did see a new little double face buster from Dakota Kai and Raquel, or I'm sorry, from Shotzi and Ember. Showed us a new little move there to pick up the win. Good match. Once again, very smart not having Raquel eat the pin. I mean, she is the NXT Women's Champion. And they made Raquel look strong after the match. She kicked the shit out of Shotzi and then made Ember watch as she beat the shit. I mean, she ran Shotzi into the plexiglass. She threw her into the ring post, folded her over the barricade. Still made her look fucking strong, man. So, definitely enjoyed that match. Now, my next little note on NXT Smark is your boy, Cameron Grimes. Finally got a face-to-face with the $1 Million Man.
Yep. Came out, grabbed the microphone, said literally 2 words, and then cue the Ted DiBiase themes.
Pretty much. So, and then, of course, LA Knight had to fuck up the whole thing. But let's play some of it here.
Sure.
So I'm sure everybody wants to know, Ted. And that's why, man. Like, seriously, why? I don't know if you realize this or not, but I wasn't always rich, Ted. I didn't always have this lavish lifestyle. I didn't always have this gold on my watch. You know what I mean, Ted? But then I start to, flaunt a little bit, and then you show up, and you start embarrassing me, and you start out-buying me, and I just want to know why, Ted, because I don't know if you can realize this or even see this, but I look up to you. And I saw, because of you, that with money, I could treat people terribly. And they would still like me, Ted.
Would you consider how I beat you up, battered you? Would you consider the fact that the reason that
real quick, I want to say this, the cuts, this is a WWE video, so the cuts in this are not me. I didn't do this, but just want to throw that out there real quick. Here you go.
I put you through all that hell was because when I look at you, I also see a little bit of myself. Oh, yeah. And the other thing I know you want to know is why am I here? Please tell me. Well, I'm here. I'm here, Cameron, because I am looking for that one individual, whoever it might be, who embodies everything the $1 Million Man stands for and the $1 Million Legacy. That's right. Now, know this, it's not all about the money or how you can humiliate people with money. You know what it's about, Cameron? It's about performance right here in this ring. That's right, in-ring performance. And I'm going to tell you something, kid. You got it. I've seen it. But I'm going to tell you something else. Since you've become rich, you've lost your focus.
Let me talk to you.
All right, now we get LA Knight out there. I think we know my feelings on that. I just think the guy is a fucking room killer. I think he lets the fucking air out of the room. I'm sorry, man. He walked in, and I'm just like, oh, please, no. And, of course, Ted DiBiase's kind of doing the same thing. You got it, too, kid, blah, blah. Now, rumor going around is that the $1 Million belt's going to make a comeback. I'm fine.
Nice.
I'm great with that. And once again, Smart, both of us have been saying if this storyline puts Ted DiBiase on television more, I'm good with it.
Absolutely. Yes.
Absolutely. So, I had a good segment. Again, LA Knight had to come in and fucking ruin it, just make it even more just awful. Ted DiBiase still looked, I'm not going to lie, he looked like he had a little bit of a... He had a couple moments where he forgot what he was supposed to say. He's not used to these scripted promos, obviously.
No. I couldn't tell if it was just a matter of, like you said, he just wasn't used to the scripted promos, or if, like, he just didn't really want to be there, and then he just offered him more money, and he was like, fuck it, why not? There were times where he seemed like he was a little checked out, but
I mean, he's put out many interviews saying how he's happy right now doing what he's doing. I believe he's a pastor or a preacher. I'm not sure which one. I don't know the difference. Again, I'm not a very religious person, so I don't know the difference in them. But I know he's somehow involved with church very heavily. So he's put out a lot of interviews saying he's happy. He doesn't want to come back, but NXT seems like a different breed for these guys to come back to, especially since right now they're not traveling. And, it's a little different thing for them to do.
Right. Okay, so the interesting thing is Sacha Baron Corbin was asking if Grimes is a babyface. And when the promo started, he was. But like you said, you had Ted DiBiase come out and he was like, you're not so different, you and I, kid. And then, so I was like, okay, this is fine. As the prophecy has been foretold, as I have been predicting for weeks now, we're going to get it. We're going to get a Cameron Grimes, Ted DiBiase partnership. Well, old LA Knight comes out, like you said, and fucking ruins everything. And he starts talking all this stuff, and Cameron Grimes calls him a nickel and dimer, which I enjoyed. I was like, he basically told him to take his poor ass out of the ring, which was pretty great. But okay, so he comes out and he's talking all this shit, and then Cameron Grimes tells him to get out of this ring, and he's like, "Boy, if you do not get out of here, I will boot your ass." And then the crowd joins in with him to the moon. So this is the beginning of this triumphant face turn, and now Cameron Grimes, Ted DiBiase are going to be this thing, and then fucking they have to ruin it because they have LA Knight hit his finisher on Cameron Grimes, and then Ted DiBiase's like, "You still don't get it, kid," ha ha ha, and he walks off with LA Knight, and I'm like, God, you were so close to fucking getting somebody super over, and you ruined it.
No, you ruined it.
I really hope that he comes out next week and he's like, I learned something. I learned that Ted DiBiase has sons and they used to work here, and I think I'm good. I don't think I want him to be my mentor. Didn't work well for his kids.
Yep. As you would say, you were so close and
you blew it.
Yep.
There you go. Thank you, Adam Sandler. I appreciate that.
I actually would like that if next week they show Cameron Grimes is berating Bret or Ted DiBiase Jr. He'd be like, "Why you suck so much?"
Could be.
I remember you and some other guy were in Legacy, and I don't remember it turning out very well for you.
Oh my God! All right. Let's go to my next note. But I mean, look, it was a good segment, and you're right. They kind of it looks like they're going to put him with LA Knight, which, first of all, the LA Knight character makes no sense at all, at all. Yeah. They haven't shown him in fancy cars. Let me put it this way: AEW did a better job with fucking what's his name, Joey Janela and Sonny Kiss than they've done with LA Knight.
Yeah, well, they produced a couple little segments for them, and then they just kind of stopped that. But I will say, to give LA Knight a little bit, just a smidge of credit, he had my favorite line of the night when the crowd booed him, and he said, "No one asked what you incels think." I was like, if you could say anything to the NXT crowd that would be more fitting than that, I do not know it.
Well, that's more for the actual viewing audience, but yeah, you're correct. That probably more for the AEW viewing audience. But anyway, the hardcore AEW.
Yes, they would still be cheering him and talking about what great heel work he does.
Absolutely. But I guess we'll see where this goes with DiBiase. I'd prefer him with Cameron Grimes. Maybe he'll end up with him, but it looks like he might be ending up with LA Knight. And again, bringing back the $1 million title. So I got a feeling.
Yeah, I'm thinking that's going to be what it is. It's a match for the title, and maybe Ted ends up being the manager, the winner, or what have you. I just hope more than anything, since I'm a fan of the guy's work, somebody just shows the clip of him going, I could treat people like total shit and people will still love me because I have money. I hope they show that to Vince, because he really will get pushed to the moon that way. He's like, "Oh, I fucking love this guy."
That was a good line. I learned from you, Ted. I can just treat people like total shit and they'll love me anyway. I'm paraphrasing.
The
obviously.
Crowd cheers. Yeah. It's like, this is weirdest fucking segment ever. Like, this is what Vince's dreams look like.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. All right, let's move on from that. I got two more little notes on NXT. I know there were more matches, but again, we're 24 hours out. You guys know. You watched it. I don't need to go into it. Frankie Monet did do her in-ring debut against Cora Jade. I like Frankie. I liked her as Taya. I like her now. Good debut match. Nothing over the top. Nothing holy shit. But look, she's not a small girl. She's not one of these little tiny girls that are in the ring, and I think it's going to be good to have her, especially since you just got rid of Rhea. Not got rid of, but moved Rhea up. I think Frankie can be a good, I'm not saying replacement, but another big girl you can have in the company. And again, by big girl, I mean she's jacked. She's I'm not saying she's fat at all. I think she's a very, very, very pretty girl, in my opinion. But not really anything over the top in this match that really made it stand out. I mean, Taya, Frankie's or Taya, whatever you want to call her, she's a badass bitch, but didn't really show it in this match, I don't think.
No, the like overly elaborate outfit, the ring gear was pretty cool. I like that part. Maybe a little bit of foreshadowing, potentially setting the seeds, planting the seeds. Her finisher appears to be the glam slam.
Right.
So I could see that potentially leading up to something. Her talking some shit to Beth coming out of retirement for a match or two. Who knows?
I'd like to see that, man. She definitely reminds me a little bit of Beth Phoenix. Definitely does,
yeah.
Man. I mean, she's got the body for it. She's got the physique. She's got the silicone in the right places. If you know what I mean. But yeah, I could see that, and I would like to see that. To be honest with you, I always liked Beth Phoenix too. I really thought she was good in the ring, and pretty much just good. I like Beth Phoenix.
Yeah, so, as do I.
I could see that. But anyway, again, I thought that would be a better match. I thought she would really go out there and shine. And I think she went out there and won, but there was no glamour, no shine to it. Just what she was wearing, I guess. Oh, look, the wife brought a shot.
Very nice.
Perfect.
Cheers.
A shot to go into the main event with. Here we go. Cheers to the listening audience. All right. Thank you, babe. Oh, I am going to regret my life tomorrow morning. Oh, man. I'll be all right. I might hit snooze.
There you go.
Well, my finger quote boss doesn't get there till 9, so. I got there late the other day and a truck is waiting for me. I'm like, oh, shit.
I was actually kind of surprised because I drank quite a bit this weekend, and Monday I felt perfectly fine. So it's a true rarity at this point, but I'll take it.
Well, I've been drinking much less. I mean, I had one beer last night. It was
same.
It was the only cold one I had, so I grabbed it.
Because prior to this weekend, I hadn't drank since New Year's, so there was a sizable gap.
Well, then I get home and today, and the wife's all happy, and I've got she bought liquor and me a case of beer.
Very nice.
I'm telling you, she's a keeper, man. Anyway, the last note I have on NXT, and pretty much the end of this show. How much are we doing here? We're probably pretty much right on the. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Little over 2 hours here. Last note I got is this Karrion Kross, Finn Balor match. This was I'm not gonna lie. Finn Balor's always having good matches. This was a damn good match, a damn physical match, Mark.
Yes.
I don't know if you know, but these guys were laying shit in hard. You saw. They were. Now, I don't know about you, but I'm watching this feud. I'm seeing where it's going. Karrion Kross did retain. Now, I think. Now, let me know what you think here, Smark. I definitely want your opinion here.
Sure.
I think this feud continues, and we get the return of the Demon against Karrion Kross. Because I think what's going to happen is Finn is not going to be able to beat Karrion Kross. But you know who can? The Demon.
The Demon, of course.
The Demon can come back in and beat Karrion Kross. I know it's been a long time. I know Finn said, I don't even know if I know how to do the Demon anymore. But I got a feeling they're getting back to doing live crowds, right?
Right.
Wouldn't it be nice to slow burn this a little more? And when those fucking crowds come back, at the first takeover with crowds, you have the Demon come back against Karrion Kross.
Oh, sure, because, you get, pretty much the height of experience that they can offer. Because you were talking about, too, just sort of real big dynamic entrances that the crowd's going to go nuts for.
Yes.
Because, Cross hasn't done his entrance in front of people yet, so that's going to be, like actual full live crowd, not the Capitol Wrestling Center. But, as soon as they actually have a full crowd, that they're going to go crazy for that. And then you bring back Demon, and people go crazy for that. Before the match even starts, you already got them, right in the palm of your hands. It'll be perfect.
I think that if that's not where they're going, I think they're making a mistake.
I can see that.
I think that's where they should go because that's exactly where I was going with this. The entrances, you get the Demon entrance. Look, Finn Balor's entrance is still a crowd. The crowd loves to do it. They hold their hands out. They do this and they do that. But you get the Demon versus Karrion Kross at a takeover. And I think, Jesus Christ. Take my fucking money, please.
Mm-hmm.
I'm already paid up for the year for Peacock, but Jesus Christ, I think I might pay more for that.
There you go.
I'll give you an extra $10.
Nice.
Look, man, I got to move. It's all I can afford. Leave me alone.
No worries. That's kind of always the interesting thing for me, at least, when it comes to cross title defenses. It's just that I feel like there's never really been anything reported, but just I feel like the way that he is and what they value, it seems like he's always just perpetually on the verge of being called the Raw or SmackDown. So I feel like no matter what, anytime he's defending the title, it's like, man, maybe they want to bring him up. Maybe that's why they're doing this.
And this would be a good way for the Demon to go in, beat him. And look, I'm not saying that Finn was bringing in ratings, but this was also COVID when Finn was the champion. And they may want to see what happens with a crowd and him being champion. And maybe move Karrion Kross up. I don't know, maybe. But I just have a feeling this is where it's going just by the way this is all playing out.
Yeah, I can see that.
I could be completely wrong. If I am, again, I think they're making a mistake if they don't, because that's kind of the obvious place for this feud to go, in my opinion.
Well, I think they did, and they did mention on NXT that they're going to be doing a triple threat match this coming Tuesday for who gets the challenge for the title in your house, because it's Gargano, Cole, I believe, and somebody else. I forget who exactly, but they are doing a triple threat.
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know, man. It's going to be interesting to see where this goes. But once again, man, it's just so weird to be sitting there and watching. When you watch Raw and NXT back to back, it's amazing. You'll bitch about things on Raw and you won't bitch about them on NXT. It's, confusing, man.
Yeah, I think there's more goodwill built up right now. NXT doesn't really have as many blunders, and then it's only 2 hours, so it's not as much of a chore to watch.
Yeah,
so
maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. The 2 hours, it's not as much of a chore, but I don't know, man. That's I think that's all we got, man. We got through a lot. We got through a lot in that looks like about 2 hours and 15 minutes, close to it. So we got through a lot of that shit right there. So, all right. On that note, I guess I will hit the ending music. We'll knock the plugs out one more time. My God, we got to record these. It's tough.
Yeah,
man.
couldn't hurt. Couldn't hurt.
Some of it at least. Anyway, you guys know where we want you to go. As usual, it's the high marks. Check out Cheeseman, Mojo, and G-Wiz over there. Where are you going to check them out? Mixler.com/Metal Mitt Network. That's right, 2 T's in Metal Mitt. Check out the Metal Mitt Network for those guys right there. 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, Sunday nights. Definitely want to be listening. And, of course, the Inhumans over there on the Inhuman Experience. Bobby Anthem and Bobby Blades. Check them out, all the usual podcast platforms. Definitely want to be subscribed to that because they will be making a comeback. Once again, Pentagon's going all crazy on this UFO shit, man. I don't know. I kind of think it's a distraction, but we'll get into that another time. And, of course, you got Everything Unscripted Wrestling Podcast. Check out those guys over there. Eric, Doug, Daniel, all the crazy bitches over there. Check them out on Blog Talk Radio and all the usual podcast platforms. And once again, Stephen Milan, third plug for the show. Letterboxd.com/Stephen Milan. Check him out over there reviewing films. We definitely appreciate what he does. And, of course, if you guys want to go ahead and subscribe, rate, review us. You know you can do that on Apple Podcasts. You can go to Stitcher. You can go to iHeartRadio. You can go to Anchor. You can go to YouTube. Anywhere you find good podcasts, go for it. Smarky Smark.
Yes, sir. Mondays, 8:30 on the Metal Mid Podcast Network. Be sure to listen to Cheese on Sports with Cheese Man. They got the NBA playoffs, MLB season, and the NHL playoffs. It's got a lot to talk about, so you're going to want to join them every Monday. And every Sunday morning, Sundays at 10:30 a.m. on the Metal Mid Podcast Network. Also on the Mixler Machine. Want to listen to the Motor City Machine Guns with Mojo and with Dirk. And last but never least, be sure to check out our friends at Planet Untold. It's the Planet Rag on Tour podcast with Bobby Anthem, with Papa Dave Sincere, and with Yuck Nasty. Be sure to check out all 16 episodes as well as Season 2. Be subscribed, be prepared, be alert.
There you go. It sounds like a Boy Scout almost.
Yes.
All right. There you go. Always be prepared. So go ahead, sign up for those. Once again, chat room, appreciate you guys joining us tonight, coming on in, hanging with us, and downloaders, anyone who downloads the show. However you support this show, greatly appreciate it. Once again, the fact that anyone takes time to listen to me and Smark sit here and talk wrestling is greatly, greatly appreciated. I can't tell you how much it means to me. And there you go. Smark, we're back here Friday, brother.
Yes, sir.
We are back here Friday. So, on that note, see ya!
Adios.
It's alright if you don't know what to do with yourself. Take your drunken ass on. Yeah, we're going over. We're going over. We're going over. We're going over. Time to take your drunken ass home. It's alright if you don't know what to do with yourself. Take your drunken ass home.